Good afternoon, garden friends. And guess what time it is? Fall bulb planting season. And one of the reasons why I want to talk about this is because it's all about timing. You know, there are different things that let you know what time you should be planting bulbs. There's things within nature, like if your leaves on your trees are starting to get that orange and red and yellow color to the leaves. If you got squirrels like we do and you see them out and about collecting up acorns and nuts, it's getting close to that time. So one of the things that I'm doing is starting to put in my order for my fall bulbs to have my spring flowers, because last year I waited too long and some of the bulbs that I wanted weren't available. Now, I'm actually going to be focusing on daffodils. I tried my hand at tulips, but here in the South, tulips do not do that well because they have to have a long cold front in order to be able to grow. And like I said, I planted some last year. I didn't bother to take them out. If they come back, okay, it'll be a surprise. If not, I'm not going to worry about it. But daffodils are very good for the South. And Colorblend is who I am going to be getting my bulbs from because probably 2 years ago, I have some in my yard that did really, really well. Normally I would go to one of the big box stores and get bulbs. I'm not going to do that this year, because Colorblend has been proven to give me a nice array of bulbs. Now, as I stated, I am focusing on daffodils, and I wanted to be able to share with you some of the daffodils that I'm getting. And as I stated, they actually have bulbs for the South. One of the bulbs that I am going to be getting is called Starry Night. And I'll make sure I put a photo for each one that I'm going to be getting. But just let me give you a little bit of information about the daffodils. It gets 14 to 18 inches tall. They have white flowers, very clean looking, and that's probably one of the things that I like about these, because it has a very clean look to it. And then the center is just a little pop of white in between them. It's a 3-part blend and also texture to them. The other ones that I'm going to get are called bloom factors. These guys get 13 to 15 inches tall, and it's a multi-flowered daffodil that is in pale yellow, gold, and white. Doesn't that sound gorgeous? And then, by making a nice drift of these, it'll be a beautiful combination. And I'm thinking about putting them in my new garden bed that's out in the front area. My tried and true are my Sir Winston Churchills, and these guys get 16 to 18 inches tall. And when the wind blows, it has this very soft fragrance that just catches you, and it like stops you in your tracks. It's not like overpowering or anything like that, but it just has a really nice scent to it. And these guys are also doubles. And each stem bears a cluster of 2 to 6 white flowers with a fleck of orange in the middle. Okay, so like I said, I am focusing on the whites and the yellow flowers in my garden for this spring, which I think is going to do really, really nicely. The other one that I'm getting is called Gritty Southern Daff Blend. And this one has like 10 different varieties in its combination, and they get from 14 to 20 inches tall. And I'm thinking about putting them in the back behind my gazebo. And I was trying to think of something that, like in my front area, by the front of the house. And these ones that really, really caught my eye, they're called Eau Paris. And these guys are also 2 double blend daffodils. And they're good for cutting. They get 14 to 16 inches tall, and they are just absolutely gorgeous. And this is the thing. When, you know, you're sitting here trying to plan out your fall bulbs, you know, think about where they're going to provide you the most showcase, to where when, you know, somebody walks in your yard, their eyes are drawn to it. And 2, with daffodils, after they do bloom, you want to leave the greenery on there for 6 to 8 weeks, because what that does, it allows the sun to provide nutrients to the green leaves, which in turn will give you more bulbs. And where I'm going to be putting them is also about that layering. Layering them in my garden bed to where when a perennial that may be taller than them start to sprout up, it'll end up acting as a coverage for the leaves as they die back, so that you don't have to see the dead foliage, because like I said, you need to leave those leaves on for 6 to 8 weeks. I was thinking about getting like some crocuses and some hyacinths, but I think I'm just gonna stick with the daffodils. Now I am going to do some seeds, and that's one of the things that I'm gonna look at. I'm gonna look to see what seeds I can start to germinate inside my greenhouse, so that when our last frost passes, I'll be able to go ahead and get those in. So guys, just wanted to share with you, don't wait to the last minute. Let nature be your guide for when you start to put in your order for your bulbs. And a lot of that depends upon your zone too. Because, you know, zones that are higher than zone 7, which I'm in, need to be able to get their bulbs in the ground sooner, because it tends to get colder quicker up north. So just think about those things when you are planning out your fall bulbs, and get ahead of the game so you don't miss out on getting the items that you want. Okay, so like I said, there's a part 2 to my ordering. I am going to be doing some seeds this year. So I ended up stumbling upon Johnny Seeds. Used them last year to get my zinnias and my cosmos and my scarabosa pen cushions, but they have some really new seeds that I'm going to try out this year, but they will not get as tall as those ones that I had gotten before. So the first one that I'm going to be getting, and excuse me, I'm looking at my laptop, it's called a paper flower double mix. It is papery bloom with silver gray foliage, and the stems got like an airiness to them, and it's a mix of silver, white, lavender blooms, and they have really sturdy stems. They will get 18 to 24 inches in height. So you see, guys, I learned my lesson. But that is a beautiful flower, and I'll make sure that I'm putting the flowers up. So the next seeds that I am going to be growing is called Rubinsia. It is a cosmos seed, and as I love the white cosmos, this one here is a deep cranberry that the petals will fade to an antique rose with a hint of amber. Wait till you guys see these flowers. Now, they are the same height as the white cosmos that gets between 36 to 48 inches tall. But like I said, I learned my lesson. So those will be lining the back of the garden bed up against the new privacy fence that we're going to be putting in to act as a support for these ones that get that height. But one thing about this, just like the white cosmos, as you cut it, it ends up producing more flowers for you. So I'm so excited. All right, so the next one is a ruby parfait. It is a dark rose with an arrow-shaped plums that are 2 to 3 inches tall. The spikes of the flowers are that height. They make a good choice for a cut garden, which I have in my secret garden. Now this gets 24 to 26 inches tall. And you know, next year I will definitely be doing the layering aspect in my flower bed so that it's more manageable. Of course, again, I am going with the Pangushion formula mix, the Scabiosa. Just loved that combination of the different colors of flowers that came up, and those get 24 to 36 inches high, and also ends up, as you cut them, new flushes will come through. And the one thing that I like about this particular formula, you get black, blue, creamy yellow, pink, bright red, deep blue, salmon rose, and pure white in this mix. So I am like so excited about seeing that color combination come together. I'm also sticking with the Gomphrena since it was so successful and also manageable. But this version that I have is more of a solid pink, and it's called Audrey Pink and Audrey White. So it will have a softer pink color to it than what I currently have. But like I said, I did end up collecting some seeds by drying the flowers, so it'll be nice to have that mixture of the Gomphrena. Now I did end up locating a shorter Scabiosa seed, and it's called Triple Berry Mix. It is new to Johnny Seeds, and it's filled with like fruity colors, and just that palette of those colors I think are going to look really nice with the combination of the other flowers that I have in the garden. These guys get 24 to 36 inches tall, and they're also known as morning brides. So if you want to end up taking a look at those, that's another name. And the last seed that I am going to be sowing for next season is called Swamp Milkweed. It blooms from the summer through the frost, and it's a cluster of rose to mauve florets on a very sturdy stem, and then have a thick green leaf. These guys will get 32 to 48 inches tall. So these are also going to go up against the back fence area, because I want to make sure I don't run into the same problem that I did before. And these are definitely perennials, for at least that one is a perennial for my area. And I will, post up on the photo whether or not it is a perennial and what the zones that it ends up being a perennial for. So guys, like I said, This is all about getting prepared for next season. You know, whether you are going to start your seeds indoors, 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost, or if you're going to wait until your last frost pass so that you can go ahead and plant your seeds. I think I'm going to do a combination of both, because one thing that I did figure out, especially when I was comparing how my other garden friends' cosmos was looking, I think I may have started mine, too early. And even though they were doing good, the early heat of Georgia, I think ended up burning them out, and then I wasn't watering them properly. But like I said, with gardening, it is about learning, and keeping those things in your mind of what not to do, and also what to do. So go out there and get your bulbs ordered, get your seeds, and this is the other thing that I want to say. I almost forgot. With Colorblend, my bulbs, I won't get them until October of this year, because for my zone, that would be the time that I would start laying out my game plan for where I'm going to put them at. Now, my seeds, I think Johnny's Seeds told me that those should be here in 7 to 10 days, So, like I said before, I'm getting my stuff now, because last year there were a couple of things that I wanted that I wasn't able to get, and this time I'm making sure that I get them. So guys, like I said, get out there and start planning for your bulbs so you can get what you want. Put your game plan together for how you are going to go about doing your seeds, whether they're indoor or if you're going to seed them directly into the ground. But the key is to get started, get the planning for it. So thanks again. I can't wait until I get these and get them in the ground, with the hope that they will be absolutely beautiful next spring. And I look forward to sharing the results with you. Have a good afternoon.